Hi everybody, it's Honest John. When the Berlin Wall fell, Germany celebrated, and so did the rest of Europe. And here in the US, we celebrated too. Here in America, Ronald Reagan received a great deal of credit for this, even though he had long since been out of the White House when that actually happened. And the fact is that nothing that we did here in America, or very little that we did here in America, was responsible for the fall of the Soviet Union. That was on them. That was their leadership incompetence and the fact that the Russian economy was just not capable of sustaining an empire. But according to our mythology, might made right, or right made might, whichever, and the fall of the Soviet Empire was the triumph of goodness over evil. This mythology is pretty dangerous. It is what has led us to believe that we can control everything else that happens in the world. We felt omnipotent. That's taken a bit of a beating lately, but that's what caused us to blunder into Iraq and Afghanistan and to get hysterical over Ukraine and the Middle East, because we're supposed to be able to get these people to do anything we want. Just doesn't happen. In Europe, their mythology about the fall of the Berlin Wall is pretty close to what ours is, except that they take the credit for themselves and their policies towards the nations behind the Iron Curtain. The main thing that they believe, and it's a pretty actually good thing for them to believe it, even if it's really not that true, is that because they didn't allow themselves to be provoked into war, that it gave these people time to realize the error of their ways and come on over and join them. Matter of fact, the people of the West, the leaders of the West, and a lot of the people of the West, we believe that all these other people around the world, they want what we want, that they share our values. This just isn't true. Now, in Russia, the fall of the Berlin Wall is viewed very differently. For the Russians, the fall of the Berlin Wall and the splitting off of all these Soviet Union states into their own on their own is a tragedy of epic proportions, and the West is responsible. We trashed everything that they had worked so hard to build, and we see the United States and Europe see the expansion of NATO as spreading peace and stability. Russia sees it as a threat. And then there's China. China sees the fall of the Soviet Union and the fall of the Berlin Wall and the dissolution of the Soviet Union as a matter of failed will and nerve. And that this happened because the leaders of those Soviet Union countries and Russia itself didn't crush the pro-democracy movements that formed there. And so these viewpoints about what happened at that particular time have had a big influence on the behavior of those countries. Europe, for example, is constantly looking for a peaceful solution out of things, even when there is none. The United States, we're committed to spreading democracy all over the world. The Russians are trying to reconstitute their empire, and the Chinese are determined to crush any movement that seeks change. So these different narratives are likely to lead us into more confrontation with Russia and with China and in other areas of the world. In our zeal to spread democracy, we sometimes just don't understand that they're not buying what we're selling. Thanks for listening.